Apollo at the center of your Mac or PC-based studio. There, you can record through any UAD-powered plugin right on input with less than 2 milliseconds of latency. From Neve and SSL to Studer and Lexicon, Apollo's onboard UAD processing is the modern equivalent of a classic analog rack. And all interface and plugin settings are savable right into your sessions, ready for tracking, mixing, or mastering in your workstation of choice. And built for the future, nothing runs faster than Thunderbolt, the next generation of digital connectivity from Intel. Steeped in history, poised for the future, Apollo is the high-resolution interface with classic analog sound.
Hello, hello. Welcome. My name is Matt Ward. I'm the president of Universal Audio. I want to thank you all for coming to this press conference to discuss our exciting new product, the Apollo interface. It's really kind of an old saw for a company to say, we're really excited about this new product. But this is a very, very unique situation. I think we can legitimately claim and absolutely accurately state we are really over the moon excited about Apollo. Apollo represents 3 years of development. And 3 years of development at a time over the last 3 years where a lot of companies were kind of pulling back and not investing in the future. And we were able to invest in the future and to deliver this really exciting new product for us. It's also the culmination of 10 years of vision. It really is the ultimate combination of our analog ears and our digital minds, if you will, bridging the worlds between analog and digital. We're obviously known for what we've done in the analog world, and we're known for what we've done in the digital. This product really combines them both. It's also the result of 50 years of Universal Audio as a company making products that make music better. So, in addition to that, we're introducing an exciting new technology, Thunderbolt, which is going to really revolutionize the audio industry and is going to be available for Apollo as an option this summer. We're really pleased to have been selected by Intel to be a partner for Thunderbolt early on so we can deliver this technology so soon and early. We're really excited also to have Dave Salvatore from Intel here. You'll be hearing a little bit from Dave a little bit later. So in sum, we're really, really excited about this product and for a lot of really good reasons. And when this product gets out into the world and people start using it to make music with it, there's going to be a lot of excitement. So I'd like to, without further ado, bring on our chairman, CEO, and founder, Bill Putnam Jr.
All right, well, thanks everyone for being here. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to be handing it over to Lev here in a couple minutes, but I thought I'd take a moment and share with you my perspective on where Apollo fits in Universal Audio's overall vision. And first, a little bit about history. For those who don't know, Universal Audio actually can track its roots back to the early days of recording. My father started recording in Chicago shortly after World War II, recorded a lot of blues and big band. And he was a technologist and an innovator at heart, so he soon started making equipment for his own studio and realized there was an opportunity there, and that was the birth of Universal Audio in the 50s. So fast forward 50 years or so later to the modern Universal Audio, and it's a company that is, I think, unique in its passion for those very types of equipment my dad was using in the studio those many years ago, making all those records, as well as a passion for cutting-edge digital technology. And indeed, we've had we've developed product lines in both of those areas over the last dozen or so years. Best-in-class microphone preamps, compressors, limiters, and best-in-class digital signal processing plugins. To date, we haven't had a single product that has married both of those two worlds. And that is what Apollo is, and that's what it represents. So we've had a vision of, you don't have to be analog or digital. This world needs both. We want to be best of both worlds. Apollo brings those together. And the other reason we think it's unique is, imagine being able to track, monitor, or mix through any number of vintage consoles, track, monitor, mix through a Studer tape machine. This is exactly what Apollo affords, and in many ways it's bringing the workflow and the type of equipment my father used for those many years into the modern recording studio and making it accessible to many. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lev Perry. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Hi everybody. I'm just going to give you guys a quick overview of the feature set of Apollo. Obviously we've got various units around the booth. You can get a more in-depth overview. If you guys have any questions, please let us know afterwards. So what is Apollo? Apollo has really been 10 years in the making of the current iteration of Universal Audio, as Matt and Bill kind of took you through. But again, it's the first product that really marries the analog heritage of the company and the digital heritage of the company. You know, we've been making digital products for the last 10 years, and again, Apollo puts them together. Apollo is a superior sounding Firewire interface, 18 inputs, 24 outputs for Mac and Windows. The really interesting thing about it is it runs all of our U82 plugins in real time. And so what that means is all of the great plugins from our partners and our direct developers all work right inside Apollo with no discernible latency. It's something that can run plugins inside your DAW, just like our other U82 products. So it plays both duties of being a tracking solution and a mixing and mastering solution. And like I mentioned, it runs our full library of U82. So I could go through this long list of the best companies in pro audio. You can read them for yourself. It's really a stunning list of the best plugins on the market. We went open last year, opened up our platform to some of the best third-party developers on the market. We brought on SPL and Brainworks last year. We're happy to announce here at the Namm show that Sonox is going to be developing for the platform. So what that means is later this year, you'll see some great Sonox plugins come onto the platform, and they'll work both on U82 and low latency in Apollo. Take you through the back panel really quick. Again, there's a ton of I/O, and it looks like it's getting a little chopped off there, but you can see 4 mic preamps. These are amazing sounding, high resolution mic preamps. 8 total digital analog inputs and outputs, as well as dedicated monitor outputs. These monitor outputs are digitally controlled analog. Very, very important for when you're turning up the volume up and down. We're not cutting off resolution. It's a digitally controlled analog part. 10 channels of digital I/O via ADAT and SPDIF. Firewire 800 standard, and there's a little bay over here on the left-hand side where you can slide in the Thunderbolt option card. Talking a little bit about what Thunderbolt really means for this product, it really is the future-proofing of the product. Right now, Firewire is a standard across pro audio, but going forward, Thunderbolt is just this amazing next-gen interconnect. And what it will allow Apollo to do is run both Firewire and PCIe inside the box. So what that means is you're going to get more plugin instances inside your DAW. It means lower latency for those plugins. And in fact, when you connect via Thunderbolt, you'll actually be able to use the Firewire ports as a hub. So for computers that don't have Firewire, Apollo actually adds it, which is very cool. The front panel is very intuitive, very easy to use, and it's got dedicated controls for the monitoring, the preamps, everything that you really want to get hands-on with. But because it's digitally controlled, you can actually control all of it from software. If you look at the software itself, this is where we had a lot of fun. We have really, really tight integration with every single DAW that's on the market. We are Core Audio and ASIO compliant, and when you really look at it, it was really an important thing to work with all these major DAWs because we really wanted to provide the ultimate front-end tracking solution for anybody's DAW. So let's go and take a look a little bit about the applications that we came up with to give you this great low-latency workflow. The first application is called Console, and it gives you access to real-time U80 processing. The full library of U82 works in this console. You can go ahead and call them up, make channel strips, put everything in the order that you want, and you have the option to actually track with those effects wet going into the DAW. Or if you don't want to be as destructive, you can do it non-destructively as well. And again, the fact that the front panel is all digitally controlled, you get full control over the mic preamps and the monitoring right from this interface. We didn't stop there though. We came up with this really amazing plugin. It's a VST, AU, and RTAS plugin. Goes inside any of those DAWs that support those formats and gives you really quick access to the monitoring and the preamps right within the DAW. And that's a really meaningful thing. If you've got a control surface, you can control Apollo, and you don't have to have it right in front of you. Of course, if you want to have it right in front of you, you can. But one of the most amazing things that it does is one single button click actually synchronizes the console application. So let's say you've got the console application, you've got your plug-in chain for your recording. One button will actually synchronize the console when you reopen that session later. So you get total recall of our console with any session, even if you open up that session a year later. The actual product is available in 2 SKUs that are differentiated by their DSP complement. They have the same I/O, the same great sound quality, a Thunderbolt option bay, but different DSP complements. The Duo version will street for $19.95. The Quad version with 4 Shark DSPs will retail for $24.95. And I guess the most important thing for a lot of people is what does it come with? It ships with some of our best plugins. When you really talk about the classic UA plugins, it's things like the 1176, the LA2A, the Pultec. You're going to get those things right out of the box. You can track with them, you can use them in your DAW, get you started right away. And of course, the entire U82 powered plugins library can work on Apollo in real time and are available on our online store. The final question that people are asking, when's it shipping? It's shipping this quarter, shipping in March. With that, I'd like to just give you a quick recap and I'll hand it along. What is Apollo? It's a high-resolution audio interface with real-time UAD processing. It is the best-sounding audio interface in its class. Real-time UAD processing allows for sub-2 millisecond latency with plugins. It's really not discernible latency whatsoever. It's just like analog. It provides additional horsepower for any VST, AU, or RTAS DAW, and it's got the Thunderbolt option card, which is a separate thing that you can add on later. Speaking of Thunderbolt, I'd like to bring up Dave Salvatore, who's the Senior Communications Manager with Intel, to talk a little bit about Thunderbolt and our collaboration. Dave?
Thank you, Rob. So I'd like to start off by thanking you, to give me this quick minute with you. We're really thrilled about this new Apollo. It does so many cool things, and it's such a great testament to what's possible with Thunderbolt technology for audio and for the audio world. For those of you who don't know, Thunderbolt Technology is a very fast PC connection technology. It runs at 10 gigabits per second. It's fully bidirectional, incredibly low latency, 7 to 8 nanoseconds from hop to hop. So it basically has 2 native protocols, PCI Express and DisplayPort. And we're just now beginning to see some of the new audio products come out. They're going to be using Thunderbolt technology. Apollo is a great example. And you heard Lev talk about all the wonderful things it's doing. And it really, again, it's just a real testament to, I think, some of the innovations you're going to see coming via Thunderbolt for, basically the DAW world and the digital audio world. And so, just one last quick plug. I will be around after the event concludes if you have any Thunderbolt questions, and I'm happy to take those. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to Matt.
We're still on. Well, thank you everybody for coming. I hope that was really informative. I would encourage everybody to talk to people here in the booth if you want some more detailed information. Fab DuPont is doing some really great demos. The first one, I think, at 1 o'clock, coming up soon, where he's tracked a basic session completely with using Apollo and one of our 4710 mic preamp, and we'll have a singer here performing live where he'll be recording and really getting into some of the details of the workflow of Apollo, so I'd encourage you to see that. If there's additional information you want from the press side, I think we have a link up here on the screen where you can get additional press resources. Amanda Whiting is here floating around the crowd, as is Eric Hansen. Thank you again very much for coming, and go Apollo. Thank you.
Of timing, talent, and tone. But most engineers and producers will agree, it also requires having the right gear and knowing how to use it. Meet Apollo, the first professional, high-resolution audio interface to deliver the sound, feel, and flow of analog recording. With premium mic preamps and top-end converters, Apollo builds upon decades of UA hardware design heritage, giving you class-leading sound. This 18x24 Firewire and Thunderbolt-ready interface is the perfect centerpiece of a modern Mac or PC-based studio. And with its onboard UAD plug-in processing, Apollo lets you track in real time with colorful analog tones for inspired recording. Apollo incorporates numerous design hallmarks from classic UA analog gear. Front panel controls are present for all the most common features, including preamp gain, channel selection, monitor level, and dual stereo headphone outs. Rear panel connections include 4 digitally controlled analog mic preamps, 8 balanced line ins and outs, digitally controlled analog monitor outs, plus word clock, SPDIF, Firewire 800, and 8 channels of ADAT. Apollo's console app lets you track audio with near instant latency using classic plugins from Ampex, Manley, Lexicon, Neve, and more. During mixing, Apollo's onboard UAD plugin processing takes the load off your host computer. Then, like a digital time capsule, its console recall plugin lets you store all interface and UAD plugin settings within your sessions, recalling them even months to years later. Whether using Pro Tools, Logic, Cubase, Performer, or other major DAWs, Apollo brings breakthrough flexibility and tone to all your recordings. Add the user-installable Thunderbolt I/O card for even lower latency and greater UAD plugin counts on the newest Macs and PCs. Welcome to Apollo, the high-resolution audio interface with classic analog sound.